Good evening, and welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, three-time best-selling author, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Tonight we have a special guest by the name of Lindsey Vertner. A little bit about her. Lindsey Vertner is, in 2007, a fatal car wreck had multiple medics pronouncing Lindsey brain dead and paralyzed. Amongst a multitude of injuries and battling to live, Lindsey acquired a rare outlook on life. As a personal development coach, she uses her unparalleled perspective to push her clients towards success. As the founder of Lindsey Vertner, LLC, she is devoted to helping leaders to create a life full of purpose, balance, and happiness by empowering them to practice self-care while creating boundaries to prioritize their goals, while avoiding burnout and overwhelm, and to gain personal growth while healing limiting beliefs. As a nonprofit co-founder of the Unleashed Woman, Lindsey helps to support and uplift women through empowerment and networking events. Looking to help clients in all areas of their lives, Lindsey partnered with Max Credit Score to become a credit building expert, helping clients to reach credit scores of 700 or higher. As a captivating speaker and leadership consultant, not only does she motivate and inspire her audience, but she challenges and encourages them to lean on her and take action immediately. Lindsey serves by speaking life into others by utilizing their inspirational experiences to provide practical and actionable tips. She facilitates private workshops in the areas of leadership development, stress management, and time management and productivity. Authoring her forthcoming book, When Great Isn't Good Enough, Lindsey aims to help readers turn their losses into lessons with a master's in professional counseling and coaching. Lindsey is a graduate of both Indiana University and Liberty University. Welcome to the table, Lindsey Vertner. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I am doing wonderful.
Great. Well, I am honored and humbled to be able to interview you tonight. And you have such, like I stated, an amazing bio. So I would like for you to tell our listeners more about your entrepreneurial journey.
Okay. So I have Lindsey Vertner, LLC, which is my coaching business. That's where I do customized coaching and I do speaking. It's really my passion just to help women overcome the things that are holding them back and truly live the life that they deserve. And even with my nonprofit, The Unleashed Woman, putting on those events, those empowerment and networking events, and really watching women grow, it just feeds my soul. And I'm so humbled that women allow me to enter and touch into their lives in that way.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, that's good. Thank you for creating that space to reach back and pull forward. So, Lindsey, I see your passion is to help leaders create a life full of purpose, balance, and happiness by empowering them to practice self-care while creating boundaries. So would you please tell our audience a little bit more about your passion?
Yes. So what I found over the years is that women, we often suffer in silence because here's what happens. Society often says, oh, you have to be soccer mom and you have to cook and you have to clean and you've got to be the best daughter and the best wife and the best friend and you've got to play all these roles and you've got to do it perfectly. And if you don't, then something's wrong with you. Why aren't you like Susie over here next door? And so then we don't want to ask for help. We try to juggle all these roles that we have as mothers, as students, as daughters, best friends, as career women, as stay-at-home moms, as entrepreneurs, all the 50,000 roles that we juggle, we try to juggle them alone, and we don't like to ask for help, and then we end up getting overwhelmed. And if we aren't careful, then that can lead to deeper issues down the line, because I've seen it on both ends as far as where it's just kind of basic, oh, I'm not feeling like I want to get up. I'm just going through the motions, to where if you don't practice that regular self-care, it could end up in deeper issues as far as depression or anxiety or worse. I've seen women become suicidal, and I don't want women to get there at all. So that's where I come in and I help them with those boundaries, those self-care practices, and understanding that we are all dealing with the same issues. And if we would just reach out to one another and talk to one another, then we can help one another and build each other up and uplift each other. And we can go so much further and have such a more fulfilled life than if we just continue to suffer in silence, because we are our sister's keeper. And you am I, and I am you. We are each other.
Yes, I love it. I love it, because that's so true. Sometimes, we do suffer in silence, and it's good to know that we got each other's back and that we are our sister's keeper. So that's so important, Lindsey. So thank you for creating that space. With that being said, would you please tell us more about why do you feel that women feel like they're not good enough? Can you elaborate more on that?
That can go right back into that same thing I was just saying about societal views that are placed on us and roles that are placed into our laps. We look at magazines, we look at movies, and, there's a body positive movement going on, which I'm happy for, but it's still very much, you got to look like this, and you got to dress like this, and you got to be this size, and your hair has to look like this. And so when we don't fit that image, we start to feel not good enough. Or maybe it was the relationships that we grown up in where they told us that we weren't good enough, or that we weren't able to be loved in certain ways, or we tried something and we failed, and so then we feel not good enough. Or if it doesn't come out just as perfect as we want it to be, then we feel like, oh, it's because I'm not good enough, if this thing isn't working out, or I've been chasing this dream and I can't seem to catch it, so I must not be good enough. And we start to lose our own self-worth, and we start to lose our self-value, and that only deeper ingrains that feeling of I'm not good enough. And so many women are struggling with that feeling of I'm not good enough.
So what are some strategies you would give to women who are struggling with that to help them overcome that?
The first thing is to know that you're not alone, because we're all feeling that in some way or another. Yours might show up as perfectionism, or somebody else's it might show up as isolation, or there's lots of different ways that feeling of I'm not good enough can show up. It might show up as self-sabotage. So knowing that you're not alone will kind of normalize the feeling first. And then be vulnerable. Be willing to reach out to someone and say, I'm having these feelings. I'm feeling like I can't, figure it out. I can't reach this goal, and I just don't know what to do. And if you could just listen to me and support me, I'd really appreciate it. So being aware of your feelings, acknowledging your feelings, and then reaching out to another and finding those support women. Like say, hey, you come support me in my time of need. I'm going to support you in your time of need. We're going to support each other and lift each other up. So that first step is awareness and knowing that it's okay to have those feelings, but what matters is what you do with those feelings.
I love that. And, the key thing is knowing that you're not alone and being vulnerable, right? But also making sure that you're, talking to the right people, somebody that can help you come out of that, to get to the next level with it, to making sure that you are, venting to the right person, So that's so important as well. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because a lot of times the people that you look up to are having those same feelings in a different way. And you don't want to share those feelings with somebody that is depressed and hasn't gotten out of their room in 10 years, because they're not going to be able to feed you the way you need to be fed. So.
And that's important. That's important. You want to be around somebody that's healthy mentally and internally, right? So those things are so important, in order to do that, whether it's a psychologist, a counselor, whatever you need to do, somebody that's an expert in that field. Yes. So we know that the confidence gap, evidence shows that women are less self-assured than men, and that to succeed, confidence matters as much as competence. So could you talking about the confidence gap a little bit more as it relates to women?
Yes, it goes right back. Like, there is a theme in these questions. It goes right back to we don't feel good enough, and so we're not confident in how we present ourselves. And then when we do step out and then society hits us or males hit us with, oh, well, you must be on your period. It's that time of the month. Like, oh, what's wrong with you? You're acting kind of bitchy or whatever it is. They put these views on us whenever we know what we want and we step in and we're assertive, then they view us that, something's going on. But if a male were to come in and say, this is what I want, this is how I want it, and you're going to deliver it, then they're like, oh my gosh, she's such a strong, great leader. And so when we aren't met with that same feedback, then it makes us want to shrink ourselves in even more. And so we just have to realize that we are powerful and we have to own our power. And the more consistent we are in owning our power, then people will start to jump on board. And once you believe it, then they'll start to believe it. And whether they believe it or not, it's not your problem. You just have to keep living in your power. And the right people will come along. So remember, there's a difference between being assertive and aggressive. And a lot of times they try to make us feel like we're aggressive or we're too needy or moody. But when we know what we want, we just got to go for it.
And, when it comes to the confidence gap, especially in corporate America, the boardroom, women, we work just as hard, if not harder. And, that comes down with sometimes in some situations, the pay, women don't get as paid as much as they should be. And, all of those conversations start, promotions and all of that. So a lot of that affects the confidence gap, too. So I know you focus on, coaching leaders and to be able to create boundaries and all of that as well. So I thought that would be, that's something that, still goes on now. And it's something that, women are still working on because, we want to make sure that we are over exceeding, getting to the next level. And unfortunately, in some companies, in some spaces, we're still not getting the appropriate pay or the promotion as well.
Right. We have to, as women, not be afraid to shine our light and shine it brightly. Don't dim your light just because it's shining in somebody else's face.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit more about self-care, Lindsey, because that's so important, self-care. So a lot of us, some people don't really know what self-care is. So I would like for you just to expand a little bit more on self-care and why it's so important to create those boundaries.
Self-care is a must. I hear people say all the time, like, oh, I don't have time for myself. But if you want to maintain your mental health, you better make it a priority, whether that's 1 hour a day or 1 hour a week. You need to get it in at some point regularly. So you want to figure out what brings you joy, what relaxes you, what brings you peace. Whenever you're practicing self-care, you want to make sure that you're doing something that only benefits you. It's not for anybody else, but it's going to fill you up and keep you rested and keep your mind at a functional, optimal place. Because I kind of touched on this earlier, what happens when we don't practice self-care is that we start to get agitated. And there's a lot of things that we'll do that we don't even realize is a result of lack of self-care. So agitation, if you're easily frustrated, if you're exhausted all the time, if you find that you are very snappy at people often, if you have bad migraines, all different little things that we don't attribute to lack of self-care. And once you start to practice and maintain that, then you'll start to notice those things decrease and you start to live a happier life. And then as I kind of mentioned earlier, if you don't practice those self-care, it starts as those little things where you might just have a migraine today or for a week. And then next month, now you have a migraine and you're exhausted. And then the third month, you have a migraine and you're exhausted and you snap on everybody easily. Down the line, it can turn into that depression, that anxiety, or substance abuse. I've seen it happen from the therapy standpoint. In my therapy background, there was a soccer mom. She had everything that society says you're supposed to have. She had the husband, the kids, Her kids were in activities. She was a stay-at-home mom, the good life in air quotes that is. And she was having issues, and she would go home and she'd start to drink one glass of wine. And, that's normal. Oh, just a glass of wine to wind down. And then one glass of wine turned into a couple glasses, turned into a whole bottle, turned into full-on alcoholism, turned into she was suicidal and in my therapy chair. So it is my passion to help women to never get to that point in the first place. I want to catch you and talk with you and work with you before you ever even think about needing those extra glasses or whatever is your kryptonite, and really help you on the positive end and make positive changes and positive growth. So people don't really realize how important self-care is.
Yes, it's so important. And, we have to make sure we take time out for ourselves, even if that means just, going to a movie by yourself, or just, having that silence so we can be able to listen and, be by ourselves and be able to be away from everybody else. So it's just so important that we, incorporate self-care into our daily routine.
Yes, and self-care doesn't have to cost money. Like, a lot of people think massages and spas, but it can be you taking a nap for 2 hours uninterrupted. It can be you reading a book for 3 hours. It can be you just not answering the phone for a whole day. And another part of self-care is being mindful of your relationships. Like, there are relationships that are toxic. There are relationships that fill us up. There are relationships that drain us. And you want to be mindful of those ones that drain us.
Yes, and be okay to separate yourself, too, because that, like you say, those relationships are so important. Everybody does not deserve access to you. That's self-care.
Right.
Yes. So, Lindsey, you are the co-founder of the Unleashed Woman nonprofit. So please tell us more about your amazing nonprofit and how we can support it.
So the Unleashed Woman is all about uniting women, because we are so much powerful together than we are separately and apart. And so our whole main focus is to build connections, real sisterhoods, and empower and uplift one another. And that's what we strive to do with our events. We have smaller pop-up workshops around the U.S., mostly in the Midwest area for now, as we are expanding. Yay for that. But we have smaller pop-up workshops, like our Budgeting Beauties financial class. We have a twerk out hip-hop dance fitness class. In January, we usually have a vision board party. But then every year, we end the year in November with our large Women's Empowerment Conference, where women fly in from all over, and we spend the entire day pouring into one another, uplifting one another, and just the relationships that have grown from that. It's so amazing to watch. I remember the very first year we had it, there was an attendee that came in, and she came in, and you could just tell something was really weighing her down, and she was having a lot of trouble in her life. And by the end of the conference, everyone noticed who she was, because she literally walked in one way, looking down and out, and walked out with her head held high. It was like she was a completely different person. And then just to watch her growth over the years as she's attended the following conferences and stuff, and just to watch her now turn back and help other people that were in her position whenever she first came to the conference, those are the relationships and the growth that really matter to me and the Unleashed Woman. That's what we strive to do.
Amazing. So will you please let listeners know how they can get involved and support your amazing nonprofit that you're getting ready to expand?
Yes. So if you go to the unleashedwoman.net, TheUnleashedWoman.net, theunleashedwoman.net, and you can find out all about it. You can see videos from previous conferences. You can see photos from there, and you can see a schedule of our events. And reach out to me. I would love to just chat with you. If you see me at events, I definitely want you to come and introduce yourself. I love to make those in-person connections. So it's just great.
Well, please follow and support her amazing nonprofit and get involved. Get involved. Also, you have a book coming out. Congratulations on your book, When Great
Thank
Isn't
you.
Good Enough. Yeah, so let's talk about When Great Isn't Good Enough. Tell us more about your book, how we can purchase and support it.
Yes. So it has not been released yet. It is in the process of all that book editing and writing and publishing process journey that some of you may be familiar with. And it is all about overcoming obstacles. So every chapter focuses on a different area of my life and the things that I experienced as a wife, as a mother, as a student, as growing up with an absent father, down to my wreck and the struggles that I had to overcome with that. So just different areas all around life as a friend. And I will share my story and what I've learned, and I will give you tips to help you overcome that same type of thing. And it's the type of book where you can jump around from chapter to chapter, or you can read it from like first page to last page. It is designed to be conversational and interactive and really just help you figure out ways and get a fresh perspective on how you can overcome that same type of thing in your life.
I love it. So please get her book when it comes out. Super congratulations in advance to you,
Thank
Lindsey,
you.
on your new
if
book.
you sign up for my mailing list, then you'll be able to get updates on the progress of that. So
nice. So, Lindsey, I ask all of my guests this question. How did you create your seat at the table?
I had to kick fear in the face. I had to get over my fear of not feeling good enough. So one of the things that I grew up with was an absent father, and although he was here every now and then, he wasn't present in my life as a regular person should be, a regular parent, I should say. Now, my mother was absolutely amazing. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better mother. She supported me in everything I did, all that good stuff. She was loving, affectionate, and everything that you would want in a mother. But no matter what you say, when you have an absent parent or parents, that does something to your subconscious beliefs. And so I grew up with this I'm not good enough type of feeling, and I didn't even realize it until I was older that I had that subconscious belief. And once I went on my own journey of personal growth and personal development, I was able to track that all the way back to my childhood. And so many of us have these type of cycles that we don't even realize are affecting our current behaviors. And so once I was able to identify that I did have that belief of I'm not good enough, then I had to turn around and figure out, okay, how am I going to overcome this feeling of I'm not good enough and know that I'm worth it and know that I'm valuable and know that I deserve every single thing that I desire. And I had to just jump and go for it. And once you believe that you are worth it and you're worth the things that you want, then it's like everything else comes easy. I mean, you still have to work hard for it, of course. So I don't want to make it seem like it'll just fall in your lap, but things start to fit together and you start to live on purpose, in your purpose, even more, and you start to live a more fulfilled life. And I was still scared to try things, but here's the thing, fear never goes away. So you just have to turn that fearful energy into something that works for you and still do it anyway. Do it while you're scared, because usually it's the first step that is the scariest, but once you take that first step, then it's easy to take second and third and fourth and fifth steps. And so I had to do things scared because, like I said, fear never goes away, and it's still going to be there. And so it's either you want it or you don't. And if you want it, then you're going to do it. And then you'll realize it really wasn't that bad.
Yes, and, being uncomfortable is good for all of us to go through, right? Because that means we're growing. So we have to embrace being uncomfortable. It's good. It's good for us. So with that being said, what did failure teach you?
I'm sorry, you said what?
What did failure teach you? Because we all have a process that we go through, right? So I want to know, what did failure teach you?
Failure taught me what not to do next time. A lot of times people look at successful people and they think that they never fail. But one, you define your own success. And two, know that failure is a regular part of success. So you better get used to it. So you are going to fail at things and you're going to fail harder at some things than others. But it's going to happen. And so my thing is that there is purpose in your pain and that there's a lesson in every single failure. So rather than thinking like, oh, why me? Why is this happening to me? Think, why not me? And rather than thinking like, oh, I can't believe this is happening again, figure out what is the lesson that I'm supposed to learn from this failure. Why does this pattern keep happening, or why do I keep, quote, unquote, failing at this thing? Because you haven't learned the lesson that you're supposed to learn from it yet to help you grow to that next step. So in every failure, there's a lesson that's going to help you really make an impact in your purpose.
Love everything that you said, because the lesson, yes, it's a lesson. It's not failure, it's a lesson. So I love that. So what did success teach you, Lindsey?
Success taught me that there is so much that I can do to help other people. Like, success is not for me, it's for those around me. It's for my family, it's for my friends, it's for my community. If you are trying to be successful only for your own glory, then you're in the wrong mindset already. Like, we are here for one another. So whenever I'm successful, the people around me are successful because I'm bringing them with me. I'm helping them to get to my same space, if not further. So if I'm not helping other people and helping them to live in their happiness and their purpose, then I haven't been successful. Like, if you haven't made an impact in somebody else's life, then how successful are you really?
Yes. And I'm a big believer in that. I said on all my shows, a successful person, a true successful person, is one who reaches back and pulls forward. So I love that. I love that. Yes, I love that you reach back and pull forward, because that's so important that we reach back and create those spaces in order to help somebody else get to the next level, because we all was once there, right? And being able to do that and help other people is key. Yes.
Yes, and there are actually studies that show you're happier when you help other people. So helping you be happy makes me happy.
Yes. I love it. I love it. So what can we expect from Lindsey the rest of 2019? You have your book coming out. Congratulations again. What else can we expect from you?
Well, I actually am co-author of a powerful anthology that releases on August 16th. It's called Queen Boss Rise, and it's 15 powerful stories of how different women have, how they overcame and got to where they were, and it gives practical tips. It's for every woman that is trying to make a great impact with what she's doing and in her life. So that releases August 16th, and if you go on my website, you'll get updates for that as well. So my website is lindseyvertner.com. So there's that. That's August 16th. I'll be at a business retreat in Bali in September. I am the featured speaker of a self-care luxury retreat for women in Mexico. Yes, I'm really excited. So ladies, it is super all-inclusive, adults only, women only. You can really come and practice that self-care. It's no kids allowed, no spouses, or anything like that, women only, and that is in Riviera Maya, Mexico in October. So again, if you go to lindseyvertner.com, you will find more information on how you can sign up for that retreat. We have a few spots left, so I'm really excited to pour into women and help them really live self-care for a couple days there. And then, of course, there's the Women's Empowerment Conference in Indianapolis on Saturday, November 9th for the Unleashed Woman. Tickets are already on sale. And I would love to offer the listeners $20 off a ticket if you go to the unleashedwoman.net and purchase your ticket and use the discount code SEAT at the table. You'll get $20 off of your ticket.
I love it. Yes, go ahead and get your seat at the table. Creative. I love love it. So would you please tell our listeners how they can follow and support you?
Yes. So I like to keep it consistent. LindseyVertner.com is my website, and it is the same on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, at Lindsey Vertner. Look me up. I'm sure if you spell my name correctly, my last name, I will be the only Lindsey Vertner to pop up. Definitely connect with me. Say hello. Let me know that you're listening. I would love to get to know you on a personal level. And then with the nonprofit, it is theunleashedwoman.net. And that Instagram is theunleashedwoman.net. The Unleashed Woman, DOTNET on Instagram.
I love it. So please follow and support Lindsey. She is simply amazing. And Lindsey, thank you so much. You are welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your very, very busy schedule to come to the table tonight. I look forward to inviting you back.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I was actually traveling, and I pulled over. I said, I got to stop at this rest stop. It's time. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. So I would like to give a special thanks to Tammy Collins-Marquis as well as John Schamberger. I would also like to give a special thanks to author Kimberly McLemore, my intern Sarah from Tennessee State University, and you all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.